do you have for reading books well?
Very early on in my seminary, I'll repeat the question for those in the back. What tips would I have for reading books well? Very early on in my seminary studies, I realized that after I had read a book and closed the cover, I'd forgotten almost everything that was in it. If you said, what did you read? What was the book about? I could say, oh, well, it was about arguments for the existence of God. And that was all I remembered. The mind is like a sieve. You just can't retain all this information. So I thought, well, I've got to take some kind of notes on what I read. So the next time I read, I started writing down the page numbers of pages in the book where there was something significant that could be remembered. So, closed the book. What did I have? A piece of paper full of numbers. It was meaningless. And I realized that I was going to have to start taking notes on what I read. And so what I began to do then was to take careful notes on everything I read. I put the bibliographical date at the top, author, title, publisher, place, date. And then I began to take notes on the various chapters that I read. I will put it in my own words with the page number where this is to be found, or if there's a particularly juicy quotation that I want to remember, write that down, put down the page numbers, and then I staple these together and file these notes in notebooks or file folders. And in that way, I can return the original book to the library or put it on the shelf. And what I've got then is a digest of what I've read. And when it comes then to writing your paper, you work off your notes. You spread your notes out in front of you, and you've got it all right there with the page numbers, the quotes, the references, and everything. Now, the problem with that is that taking notes on what you read really, really slows you down. You have to go very slow. So I would encourage you, if you have a chance, to take a class in speed reading. I thought that speed reading meant skimming, but it doesn't. It just means you read faster. And there are all kinds of techniques that you can use to help you read faster, like using a pacer, where you kind of trace with a pen or an instrument the lines. And this prevents the eye from jumping back continually to the beginning of the sentence so that you're reading things twice. And so these speed reading techniques can help a little bit to counterbalance the slowing effect of note-taking. More recently, what I have found to be absolutely invaluable is dictation software. I have this dictation program on my Mac where I no longer have to take notes by hand. I just read them out loud into the computer, and that way you can put in the quotations, put in the page numbers, and everything like just orally. And so it doesn't slow you down as much. It's a tremendous tool. The only problem is you got to really proofread what you've just spoken because the computer can't spell. My computer, this is so funny, this has got to be deliberate. My computer will not spell the word sin. No matter how clearly I say sin, it writes soon or send. The theological disposition of the programmer, I think, was reflected in this. But so you've got to proofread carefully. But this is a tremendous tool. So if I were to say what my most important secret or tip is to reading well with understanding, it would be what I just shared.